to be making kaleidoscopes in Photoshop, so pretty fun and easy. So we're going to start this a little bit differently. We're going to start by creating a new document to basically build our kaleidoscope into. So we're going to go to Create New. And I want to tell you beforehand, I have pre-sized the base photos that I'm using all to a standard photo size of 4 by 6 inches. That's a standard photo size if you were going to print it, say Walgreens or CVS, someplace like that. That is your basic standard photo size, so I just used that as a guide. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our photograph and see if it's horizontally based or vertically based. So if it's wider or if it's taller. Now the first one I'm going to do is horizontally based, and then I'll demo also a vertically based image and just show you the difference. So if it is wider than it is tall, you're going to put the biggest number for your width. So we're going to double the size of the photo, so it's 4 by 6, so we're going to make these 8 by 12. I'm just going to double it. So my width is going to be 12 and my height is going to be 8. So I'm doubling the 6 to make 12 and doubling the 4 to make 8. Resolution I'm going to put on 72. And then I'm going to go ahead, and it's on white, so I'm going to hit create. Okay, so here is our document that we have. I'm going to fit to screen. And I'm going to pull up the rulers. Now, if you see, you can see the 12 inches here and the 8 inches here. If your rulers are not there, you're going to go View, Rulers, to make them appear. Now, if you need to change your rulers, I'm in inches currently, but if you need to change them to pixels or from pixels to inches, you're going to come to the ruler once it's visible, double click on the ruler, and then this is where you can change the unit of measure from pixels to inches or whatever it might be set in. This is usually also a question on the test asking you to change the type of measurement of your ruler. So I'm going to put it in inches, and then I'm going to go and bring in my first image. So I've already downloaded the first 2 example images, so the first one's horizontal. So I'm going to bring it in slightly different than normal, but we've done it before. So I'm going to do File, Place Embedded, and then I'm going to select it. It's in my downloads. It's this one right here, and this will be my second one. I'm going to hit Place. Now it will plop itself in the center. So what we're going to do is it will be by default, it will be in free transform mode. So we're going to just grab it and position it into our top left corner. And you will see with the arrow, you can see it's lining up perfectly, and you can actually see the 4 boxes that we're going to use. Okay, and once you have it in place, you're going to hit the check mark. So this is our first layer, first part of our kaleidoscope. Now this is basically, there's a pattern to this. It's very simple once you memorize the pattern, get the pattern down, but it is kind of tricky as you're learning it until you get it down. So we're going to duplicate layer 1. So we're going to do layer, duplicate layer, or the shortcut is Command Control J, Command or Control and J. So it's going to be 1 copy. Just go ahead and click OK. Now by default it shows up over top of this one, so you got to grab the move tool and you're going to grab it and pull it directly to the spot right next to it on the right. Now you're going to flip it. This can be confusing, but there is a pattern. So the first flip here is horizontal, the next flip is vertical, and the last flip is horizontal. Horizontal, vertical, horizontal. It's going to be what we do. So I'm on my layer 1 copy. I'm going to do Edit, Transform, Flip, Horizontal. Now I'm going to repeat, and I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to do layer, duplicate layer. This is 1 copy too. Grab it and drag it down. Now I'm going, oops, there we go. You will see it lined up because it will show you the alignment guide, which mine is fuchsia. Now we're gonna flip it vertical, edit, transform, flip vertical. And then the last one is duplicate this one and move it over here and flip it horizontal. So layer, duplicate layer. It's one copy 3. Move it over to our last spot. And our last flip, so it all is a kaleidoscope, is horizontal again. So edit, transform, flip horizontal. And there's our kaleidoscope. So pretty cool, pretty easy. It is a little tricky until you get the pattern down. So once you have your kaleidoscope finished, you're going to flatten it, layer, flatten image, and then you're going to save it. And so I'm going to save this as a JPEG just so I have it. Now let's go through a vertical example. So I'm going to close out of this since I've already saved it. And now I'm going to go back to create new. So this time, because my photograph is taller than it is wide, I'm going to swap my 12 and my 8. Remember, I have pre-sized all my base photos to be 4x6, which you could easily do in Photoshop before you begin with any photo. So I'm going to change my width this time to 8 and my height this time to 12, and my resolution is still going to stay the 72, and I'm going to start with white. I'm going to hit create and I'm going to fit to screen. So this is going to be the same exact process, but you see that now our finished product is vertically based because our base photo is a vertical photograph. So we're going to do File, Place Embedded. I'm going to select that second example image I downloaded. You're going to line it up in that top left corner. Now, once you put the rulers up, they should stay there the whole time. You shouldn't have to open it again, but anytime you need to, it's always under View. If it has a check mark, the rulers are already present for you. Okay, now we're going to duplicate this first photo. Layer, duplicate layer, okay, and we're going to move it over to the top right corner and flip it horizontal. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. Now we're going to duplicate. Layer, duplicate layer, okay, move it down. Now this is the tricky one. This is the only one. The bottom right is always the vertical flip. Edit, transform, flip vertical. And then we duplicate again, layer, duplicate layer, scoot it over, and our last flip, edit, transform, flip horizontal. Okay, so super easy, and you can do it super fast once you get the pattern down. Now we're going to flatten it, layer, flatten image, and then of course file, save as.